The South Devon Railway Volume 1 features the railway's country branch line events held over the spring bank holiday weekends between 2002 and 2006. The railway operates over a distance of 7 miles from Buckfastleigh, the line's principal station and engineering base, along the east bank of the River Dart, through the country wayside station at Staverton, to Totnes Little Hempston, a new terminus built alongside the Great Western Railway main line. Locomotives featured includes Great Western Railway's 1400 class 042 auto tank No. 1420, Collett 1366 class Pannier No. 1369, 5700 class Pannier No. 5786, 6400 class Pannier No. 6430, Prairie Tank No. 5526, 2251 class 060 No. 3205, 2800 class 280 No. 3803, J94 Austerity saddle tank No. 68011, BR Standard Class 4260 No. 76079, Drewry Class 04 Diesel Shunter No. 11216, and BR Class 14 060 Diesel No. D9526. The programme starts on the 3rd of June 2002, when Collett built 060 Pannier Tank Locomotive No. 1369 is seen approaching Staverton with a service from Totnes to Buckfastleigh. Working a Buckfastleigh to Totnes service, GWR 060 Pannier Tank No. 5786 runs alongside the River Dart shortly after leaving Staverton. Heading a local trip goods, BR Class 04 Diesel Mechanical Shunter No. 11216 approaches Nappers Hall on its way to Totnes. Owned by the Worcester Locomotive Society, GWR Pannier Tank No. 5786 returns from Totnes on the approach to Staverton Station. Hauling the line's 2 GWR auto coaches on a local service, Hunslet Austerity 060 saddle tank locomotive No. 68011 Earl Lonsdale passes the foot crossing leading to Staverton village on the 3rd of June 2002. Back at Staverton Station, Drewry designed 060 diesel mechanical shunter No. 11216 clatters over the level crossing with the return goods to Buckfastleigh. Setting off from its scheduled stop at Staverton, Collett 2251 class No. 3205 eases its train past some of the line's passenger stock, which awaits restoration stored in the siding. Returning from Totnes, Hunn's Austerity saddle tank No.68011 Earl Lonsdale cautiously approaches the foot crossing leading to Staverton village, hauling the railway's pair of auto coaches. Our 2002 visit to the railway saw Collett 2251 class 060 number 3205 hauling its own genuine royal train, complete with regalia to mark the Queen's Golden Jubilee. The stock included 3 coaches which had seen service in royal trains, with the oldest being 1894 built Director's Saloon number 80978 behind the locomotive. A visit to the railway on the 26th of May 2003 saw the railway's auto train entering Buckfastleigh, being propelled by the Great Western Railway's 1400 class 042 tank locomotive number 1420. With the auto train in the platform, GWR Pannier Tank No.5786, built at Swindon in 1930, sets off from the station loop with a mixed goods train to Totnes.
Waiting in front of the main station building for some time, there is a double-decker bus. Waiting to take you on a 3 line with Buckfastleigh Abbey, head to Buckfastleigh and back to the station. It's approximately a 15-minute road trip.
Once the station loop is vacated, the shunt signal is cleared and the auto train is propelled into head shunt beyond the station. With the road reset for the loop, number 1420 draws up to the GWR water tank for topping up.
And that's here. It's going to come here, fill it with water. You can watch it from here. We're not going to catch this train back there because there's too many people there. We'll wait for the other train to come. Still got our ticket? Let's hope so. Wait, it's going to get water from that big tank there, that grey tank.
So we've got to rewind a little bit. We can join our staff to help restore coaching. Exit, become a guard. Gentlemen, platform attendant. Help tickets in the booking office, help in the cafe. You're most welcome to join our active members list.
They're putting the pipe in there.
We have members throughout the country who spend coming here and spend a week, fortnight, a day a week, staying here, coming to help us with hearing. for various occasions. You're most welcome to join us.
Running into Buckfastleigh with a train from Totnes, Collett 060 number 3205 draws its train under the station footbridge and into the platform.
Train approaching the platform, please stand clear of the platform edge. This train is not for boarding at this stage. Going to the siding first to allow...
Built in 1934 at Swindon to a Collett design for dock shunting, number 1369 is seen at the head of a service train to Totnes, passing the public foot crossing leading to Staverton village. At Napper's Crossing, named after Mrs. Napper, a former crossing keeper, we see GWR Pannier Tank No.5786 steadily draw the mixed goods through the now ungated road crossing. In the late afternoon, Pannier Tank No.1369 pulls away from the crossing at Napper's Halt with a service to Buckfastleigh. Great Western Railway's Collett 060 locomotive number 3205 is the sole survivor of a class of 120 built between 1930 and 1948, and as seen here approaching Napper's Halt with a train to Totnes. At Staverton, the 2003 video footage draws to a close as a service from Totnes, hauled by number 3205, ambles into the station on its return to A return to Staverton on the 30th of May 2004 saw 1933 built GWR 042 auto tank locomotive number 1420 head towards the station with a Totnes to Buckfastleigh branch line local service. A public footpath along the banks of the River Dart from Staverton Bridge leads to a foot crossing linking with Southford Lane and Staverton Village, where we see Pannier Tank No.1369 bustling along with a Totnes bound service. Moving along the line to Buckfastleigh, the railway's main operating base, we find visiting BR Class 14060 diesel hydraulic locomotive, number D9526, shunting the goods train in the shed yard. Following its initial restoration in black livery, Class 04 diesel shunter number 11216 was repainted into BR green and outshopped in its later guise of D2246. It is seen arriving at Buckfastleigh, where it enters the yard with a mixed goods train. After the goods had cleared the running lines, an auto tank number 1420, coupled with Prairie Tank 5526, had replenished their water tanks. The pair moved out of the loop and, with the road reset, back down onto the coaching set in the platform.
Oh, was it? Oh, dear.
After coupling up, the starter signal cleared and the guard given the right of way, 1420 and 5526 sets off for Totnes. Viewed from the footpath leading from Staverton Bridge, number 5526 returns from Totnes bound to Buckfastleigh. A shrill blast from the whistle of Pannier Tank No.1369 as it approaches the ungated crossing at Napper's Halt warns motorists and pedestrians of the passing of a service train to Totnes. GWR 042 auto tank number 1420 was brought straight out of BR service in October 1965 and has worked on the Buckfastleigh branch in private ownership since. Seen here between Napper's Halt and Staverton on the 30th of May 2004. Locomotive number 3205 also entered preservation straight from BR, initially operating at the Severn Valley Railway prior to transferring to Devon, where it is seen with a passenger service between Staverton and Totnes. Double heading the return service from Totnes, Pannier Tank No. 1369 pilots 060 goods locomotive No. 3205 into Staverton Station. Having crossed the Buckfastleigh bound service in Bishopsbridge Loop, the section is clear for Prairie Tank No. 5526 to enter Staverton Station, heading for Totnes. Easing away from the station stop, 5526 momentarily loses grip and slips before regaining momentum as it departs to Totnes. Number 5526 was withdrawn from BR and entered Bury Scrapyard in November 1963. During a 23-year stay in the yard, it was heavily stripped of parts to provide spares for other preserved 4500 class locomotives. It returned to traffic in November 2003 and is seen approaching Staverton on the 30th of May 2004. With a blast on the guard's whistle and the green flag wave, number 5526 gets underway on its return to Buckfastleigh, whilst the station porter looks on. In the late afternoon on the 30th of May 2004, GWR 1400 class auto tank locomotive number 1420 arrives at Staverton, hauling auto coaches numbers W225 and W228, and being devoid of any passengers joining the train, departs for Totnes, creating the final footage of our 2004 visit to the railway. Commencing the 2005 visit at Buckfastleigh, the auto train, driven from the leading auto coach, number W228, is seen being propelled into the station loop by number 1420 on an empty coaching stock movement on the 30th of May. Parallel running is briefly achieved at Buckfastleigh as Prairie Tank No.5526 departs for Totnes, whilst the auto tank rolls forward to the water tank. Acting as station pilot between service trains, Pannier Tank No.1369 runs out of the shed yard and through the station to collect a pair of six-wheeled milk tanks that had arrived at the head of an earlier mixed train from Totnes. Having collected the milk tanks and run back through the station, No. 1369 propels the wagons into the yard. After attaching the milk tanks to the goods train stabled in the yard, No. 1369 moves back onto the branch line to run back through the station and into the head shunt beyond the platform, giving us our final views of a brief visit to the railway in 2005. Our next visit took place in 2006 over the Springbank holiday weekend, when the railway held a West Country branch line gala. Prairie Tank Locomotive No. 5526 is seen shortly after passing Napper's Halt with a 14:02 p.m. departure from Totnes on the 27th of May. The restoration of GWR 280 heavy freight locomotive No. 3803 was completed just 1 week prior to the gala. After initial running in, it took its place in the roster and is seen hauling the 2 p.m. departure from Buckfastleigh, cautiously approaching the ungated crossing at Napper's Halt. Visiting from its home base at the Llangollen Railway, GWR 6400 class Pannier Tank Locomotive No. 6430 runs into Staverton with a local auto train service, where it terminates prior to moving into the yard to clear the running line. Following the local train from Totnes, GWR 2884 class 280, number 3803, enters Staverton station with a through service to Buckfastleigh. During a heavy rainstorm, GWR Pannier Tank No.5786 draws to a halt at Staverton with an up train from Buckfastleigh. With platform duties completed, number 5786 sets off for Totnes at 17:05 p.m. When the section at Bishop's Bridge is cleared of the service trains, the auto train draws out of the yard and runs back into the station in preparation for departure to Buckfastleigh. At 5:18 p.m, the driver acknowledges the right of way from the guard, gives a tug on the whistle chain and opens the regulator in the leading auto coach to set off for Buckfastleigh.
Before we go out.
Sister locomotive number 5786 works the next train to arrive at Staverton at the head of the 5:50 p.m. from Totnes. After completion of platform duties, number 5786 draws up to the signal box adjacent to the loop at Bishop's Bridge, where single line tokens are exchanged and the train continues to Buckfastleigh. The following day, Sunday the 28th of May, commences at Buckfastleigh, where GWR 280 number 3803 runs into the station, with the fireman giving up the single line token on the line side standard. Seen from the station footbridge, Pannier Tank No.5786 sets off from the yard at 1:07 p.m. with the goods to Totnes. Making their way to Totnes, Pannier Tank No.6430 pilots Prairie Tank 5526 past the foot crossing near Staverton village in the mid-afternoon. Rounding the curve at Staverton Wood, Pannier Tank No.6430 ambles along the approach to Napper's Halt, slowing to 5 miles per hour to negotiate the ungated road crossing. Passing Staverton down outer home signal, CB Collett's Swindon 1939 built 280 number 3803 heads an up train to Totnes. Approaching Staverton down inner home signal, which is pegged at clear, Prairie Tank No.5526 heads at 4:27 p.m. from Totnes, consisting of the pair of auto coaches. After the passengers had detrained, the dummy ground signal is cleared, and number 5526 draws its train forward into the passing loop at Bishop's Bridge, prior to setting back into the yard. Maintaining a spirited arrival up to the level crossing at Staverton, prior to shutting off the regulator, number 3803 runs into the station with the 4:47 p.m. from Totnes. Hauled by the two visiting Pannier Tank locomotives, number 6430 from Llangollen, piloting number 6412 from the West Somerset Railway, the 4:45 p.m. from Buckfastleigh draws into Staverton station. Sure-footedly, the pair of Pannier tanks get their train underway to Totnes, providing us the final view of the line's West Country branch line gala. On the evening of the 31st of May 2006, Pastime Rail operated the South Hams Pony mainline excursion from Plymouth to Buckfastleigh. Pulled by BR Standard Class 4 Mixed Traffic 260 number 76079, seen here passing through Staverton around 8 p.m, bringing our 2006 visit to the railway to a close.